Hi everyone, welcome to this installation video for installing Akai VIP software on macOS Catalina. Officially this is not possible, but unofficially it is, as I have discovered. So I'm going to try and lay out some instructions here. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible for you guys to get through. There's a few things that you need to do, but hopefully it's nothing too daunting, and yeah, hopefully it gets it working for you guys. Let me know how it works out. So first of all, I'm going to recommend that you do this on a freshly installed version of Catalina, just because you want to be able to test it and have it isolated just in case any issues come up. Also, you'll need the recovery partition, so that has to be available. So those are the two prerequisites that I would say. You definitely need the recovery partition, but you don't have to do it on a freshly installed version, but I would just recommend it. Then the things that we're going to do is we are actually going to disable certain protections. So SIP and the gatekeeper. To disable SIP, we'll have to reboot and access the recovery partition, and gatekeeper is a couple of commands that we need to enter the terminal to get that turned off. If that's a little bit scary to anybody, have no worries. We're going to re-enable it at the end of the installation, and your computer will be as it was before. But if you are concerned about it, I would maybe just turn your Wi-Fi off while you're installing and turn it back on after. But yeah, if you are installing this with an Akai Advanced keyboard, please make sure the keyboard is turned off, and we'll only turn it on when we actually have the VIP application running. I did notice some weirdnesses a couple of times when I did an install and had it running before I'd started up VIP, something to do with the initialization, but I haven't figured out exactly what was causing that. But anyway, it seemed to work fairly well, just waiting until VIP had booted up, and we started it only then. And then I didn't get any more errors. So there's a certain sequence I'll go through just to make sure everything's working. And if you can keep that, that would be great, just to ensure that it will get up and running for you. But yeah, okay. So without further ado, let's get started here. So this is a text file here just of the installation notes that I made for you guys. I will make this available for you guys as well. So the installation sequence here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to firstly disable SIP. We need to reboot to do that. Then we'll disable the gatekeeper using terminal here. Then we're going to be installing the VIP software, the iLok support manager that you might need to download. Just download the latest one from the iLok site, and the Akai Advanced driver that you'll get from your Akai page as well, where you'll have the software authorization. Then we're going to have to do a couple of terminal commands, reboot again, and then we'll get VIP up and running there. As long as everything goes well, that should get us there. We're then going to re-enable the gatekeeper and the SIP. That will re-enable our protections, just make sure everything's running, and then we should be done. I'm going to guess around half an hour. Depends. If you know what you're doing, it could be 20 minutes to maybe up to like 40 minutes for the whole procedure here. So let's get started here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to disable SIP. So to do that, there are hundreds different little tutorials on YouTube for you to disable SIP. So I'm not going to actually show you that. So if you just look up one of those and do what they say, it's very simple. Reboot the computer in recovery mode, command error when the Apple logo is showing, boot up, start up terminal, and then we're going to enter CRS util disable. And that's it, and hit return, and then reboot the computer. That will disable the system integrity protection, which will allow us to do and access certain parts of the system. So yeah, without further ado, let's just do that quickly. So now that we've done that, we rebooted, disabled SIP. The next thing that we want to do is disable the gatekeeper. So for that, we just need to use terminal. I usually just use Spotlight here to run terminal. It's the easiest thing, just type it in and get it up and running. And then once we have this open here, let me put this up here so you can see the commands as I type them in here. Okay, And actually, really, you don't just need to do a copy paste for these ones here. So we're going to take each command here that we're going to use this segment B, disable gatekeeper. We're going to do this command here. This will ask us to for our password to do this. This will actually disable the gatekeeper. For that, we need our system password. There we go. That's done. So now to activate the gatekeeper disable, we actually have to run these two commands here so that it actually takes effect. And reboot the Finder. There we go. And we're done. And we can exit out of the terminal now. And now once we've done that, next thing that we're going to do is, let's go back to our list here. We're going to just start installing the package here. Now, I'm just going to skip the verify here because I've done this a few times, so I know that package is good. There's a little hint. Waste some time here. Now, one of the things that you guys will probably know is if you actually try and install this package, then you will get an error message. I'm sure all of you have tried it who wanting to do this. Let me just check and make sure I have everything set here. Okay, looks good. Okay, so now when I go to install it here, this is the slight difference that we have now. Before, we received the message that this package is incompatible with this version of macOS, and it only gives us the option to quit. Now with Gatekeeper and SIP disabled, we actually have the option to install anyway, which we do. And let's let that run. And if all goes well, we'll get that installed. This is going to take a few minutes, so I'm just going to speed this up in post. So might seem a little quicker than it actually is. Okay, here we go, almost at the end here. Just finishing up. Okay, and there we go. We have the main package installed. Then there's the little update here that we have for VIP, which just updates it to VIP 3.1.1. So we're just going to run this. Should install fairly quickly. There we go. That is now complete. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to install the iLock software. The reason I do this now is because VIP does install the iLock software, I believe, but I'd like to have it updated to the newest version that is offered. So let's get that installed here. Great, that's installed now. And then the last thing we need to install are the drivers for the advanced keyboard. Now, a few of you might not have an advanced keyboard or might not be using VIP with the advanced keyboard. So for those people, you can kind of ignore this step. For some reason it's not letting me use my Touch ID there. Once this is done, you'll need to reboot the computer. So we just continue with that. And then again, just like the other package that we tried to install, where this error message came up and we only had the quit option, now we get the install anyway option, which is what we're going to take and get those things installed. Okay, there we go. Now, before we restart here, let me just clean up a little bit. So I'm just going to get rid of these ones here. And these guys can eject. Oh, that won't work because it's still using that. Okay, that one can go too. Okay, there we go. So now we've done that. We're just going to restart here. then we'll give it a go and see if we can get it up and running. See you in a moment. So now that we've rebooted here, the next step for us to do is to fix the privileges and rebuild the cache. One thing I forgot to do, and it's probably best to do it this way. I could have done it basically right after installing the advanced driver before it does the reboot. You can do that as well, but I've already done the reboot. Forgot to do this right away anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to start up terminal. Go, and we have terminal up and running again. We just need to disable the gatekeeper one more time, because this disabling of the gatekeeper only works every time you reboot. So we're going to disable that here again. So we just run these commands through again one more time, and here. That just gives us access to the complete system again. And now, once we've done that, we just want to address the privileges of the drivers that were installed, and then rebuild the cache so that it's available to the system. So this one is addressing system library extensions. If we run that through here, there we go. That gets us this one, and then this one gets us the just library extensions folder. And copy paste this one. There we go. Gets everything in there. If I look through here, you can see here it's got the Akai Professional Advanced.txt is recognized there. And when we build the cache, you'll see that it gets recognized as well. So let's do a rebuild here of the cache, and once we've done that, we can do one more reboot, and then we'll be up and running. This might take a few moments. First exception here, oh, that's just the iLock support. That's something to do with that. That works. That's no problem there. It will probably throw an error for the... Yeah, let me see. Yeah, the Akai Professional Advanced Kex. The one that's in System Library Extensions, that one is... Just check all of these quickly here. The one that's in System Library Extensions, that one is... not sure that's really necessary. I played around with the drivers, and it seems to work with it best in there, so I've just left it there. So I would just leave it as such. The other errors that we got there are all to do with the iLock driver. They should be fine, as long as your iLock, you can test your iLock manager, make sure your iLock's showing up and you're seeing your licenses and everything in there. So now that we've got that, we can quit out of here. And then we're going to do one more reboot. So let's go back here and restart. Good luck, guys.